would like to welcome you all, everyone, as the meeting is now commenced. So going back, Miss Danica, I would like to ask you again. What are your thoughts on the idea or the concept of bakya?
So, since 1976, Your Honor, the Manunuri ng Pelikulang Pilipino, a circle of professional film critics, has assessed and evaluated Filipino films such as the Bakya type, which is the masses' choice of films and heavy melodramatic touch and conventional story structures. Some discussions that have been made include whether it is filmmakers or the audiences that are to blame for the Bakya approach and whether more than signifying the absence of taste, the movie represents the class difference when audiences have been known to appreciate slick films well explained in simple language. The quality of Filipino films has increased since young talented directors came into the picture who focus on new approaches and meaningful stories as opposed to mainstream.
So, are there any information about the other forms of popular culture, Miss Danica?
So before I further explain it, Your Honor, I would like to ask everyone if there are other questions regarding the topics that I have been telling everyone.
None
Okay.
for me.
Okay, so let us proceed with radio. So broadcasting in the Philippines started in 1922. Small stations initiated by Henry Herman mainly for experimenting. By the 1930s, radio had broken through with such programs such as Sunrise Club and Blistering Amateur Hour, while prompting department stores to utilize stations for advertisements. During the Japanese occupation, all stations except KZRH were shut down, but the Filipinos still listened to the Forbidden War broadcasts. After World War II, Philippine radio grew to become much bigger, with as many as 30 stations by mid 1945 and local productions such as Kwentong Kapitbahay and Kapitan Kidlat. The 1950s also witnessed shows of cultural satire such as Kwentong Kutsero and in a political review talk show, Newsbook. So the transistor revolution in 1959 increased radio accessibility to the lower segments of society, with President Garcia urging the people to buy radios to fight subversion. By 1969, 62% of Filipino households possessed radio, thus solidifying its position in Filipino society. On the other hand, in popular magazines, the earliest general circulation magazine in the Philippines was perhaps the Philippine Magazine launched in 1905. Nevertheless, it did not achieve widespread popularity due to its incorporation of the English language, which was not easily accessible for most Filipinos. The Free Press was a widely read journal produced on inexpensive newsprints and favored by the English-speaking populace until it stopped publishing in 1972. Again, the YY, the prominent magazine, originally started in 1923 and had a circulation of 89% in 1941. It forms a key part of popular publishing with associated magazines in many regional languages.
So, what about popular music and its literature?
So, Madam Chair, the Philippines had mainly been listening to American pop music instead of completely original forms, such as before condiments and zarzuelas were all but completely ignored by the media. However, there was the Juan de la Cruz Band in 1973, led by Joey Smith, who introduced Pinoy rock, which involved Western rock music with the Filipino lyrics, hence giving a call for original Filipino composition. Aside from that, through the rules that compelled stations to play Filipino songs, the Broadcast Media Council contributed to this development, including all Filipino events like the Metro Manila Pop Song Festival for local talents. With regards naman po sa literature, newspaper articles, movies and theater critics, and articles from different disciplines are the primary source of literature in popular culture in the Philippines. These have been conducted separately. They lack a mode of understanding, a paradigm that encompasses the larger implications of Filipino popular culture. While counting is often overdone at the expense of importance in mass communication research, content analysis usually seeks to identify patterns and values. Also, journalists mostly consider news values and audience interest, while on the other side, mass communication scholars use statistics, perhaps forgetting significance.
Actually, no, literary people employ literary forms to discourse about themes and characters. Yet, there is a need for cross disciplinary synthesis to further define and understand the essence of Filipino identity through culture and entertainment.
Allow me to speak, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Miss Levy.
With all that being said by Ms. Danica, I would like to ask, particularly in its integration of tradition and contemporary thought, in what way has different kinds of popular culture affected and perhaps helped to define Filipino identity?
So, with that, Ms. Levy, the popular culture in the Philippines is a living synthesis of tradition, modernity, and ideas borrowed from inside and outside the Philippine region. Over the years, media such as radio, uh, movies, comics, and music remarkably influenced entertaining, educating, and empowering Filipino people coming from different walks of lives. Being informed in times of globalization and a rapidly advancing world, it becomes vital to recognize and understand these cultural forms as a way of receiving and perceiving Filipino society and its emerging identification. They serve as social mirrors and spaces that help to create a sense of belonging. Of importance in the above discussion is the growing call for Filipino identity as evidenced by the innovative production of genuine Filipino music and literary works. The way Filipino experience is presented, where society standards are portrayed, and where resilience during transformation is embraced, relies on popular culture.
Okay, so that is all, I guess. And to the respective members of the committee and to everyone who participated today, thank you all for your time and contributions. We've heard valuable insights and perspective, and we'll carefully review everything that's been presented. Your contributions are essential to this process, and we appreciate your dedication. The next step will be communicated in due course. So, with that being said, this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.